Hello there, and welcome back to Life After 55, where we talk about healing, hope, and holding on to joy one day at a time. I'm Roy, and this is part 2 of our mini series on aging. Now, before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping things. First of all, you may notice my background is different. That's because we are in the middle of a monsoon right now, and it is pouring rain outside, and you may hear the occasional clap of thunder and see a flash of lightning, but it is a torrential rainstorm going on as I record this. That's one thing. Anyways, let's get on with the housekeeping. So we start off with the disclaimer. And I just want to quickly remind all of you that this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional or any kind of medical counselor or counselor in any way, shape, or form. The information that I provide here is based on my own research and my own experience. This is not medical advice, and you should always, always, always check with your healthcare provider or medical professional before trying any new remedies or changing your routine, especially if you are taking medication or if you are managing a health condition of any sort. Okay? Now, next on the hit parade is the membership. I just wanted to remind everybody, I just wanted to make a quick mention of this. I am going to be starting a paid membership once we get to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So before a lot of people right away probably are like, a paid membership. So before you get your knickers in a knot about the paid aspect of the membership, let me just explain a few things and give you a few details. First of all, what's the membership going to include? Well, first of all, there'll be a monthly newsletter, which is standard with any membership, I would imagine. And this newsletter is going to include info and tips on holistic healing, natural remedies that you can start making at home, as well as a healthy meal recipe every month. Beyond that, you're going to get 2 exclusive members-only videos every month where we're going to start identifying plants and herbs that probably are growing around your house or whatever. You'd be surprised what's growing around your house or what you can grow if it's not growing around your house. That can be used for natural remedies, as well as instructions on how to build your own little apothecary. Now, just the savings you'll get on that alone from less trips to the pharmacy every month is going to be worth every penny of the membership. Now, again, don't fret about the membership cost because it's not going to be exorbitant. It's basically to help cover. I'm going to have somebody help me with research and getting this thing out. It's a lot more work than, I do have a business that I run Monday through Friday, every day. I do still work. So doing this is kind of over and above, and I need to, get somebody to help me with it. And that means the research and stuff. And the membership fees are going to defray some of those costs, and it's not going to be exorbitant. I'm not going to tap in anybody's Social Security or pension or anything like that. I don't know what it's going to be yet, honestly. But once I figure all this out, I will let you know. But again, we got to get 1,000 members on the channel before we're even going to launch that. So, because otherwise it's not even going to be worth it. All right. So on top of that, I'm also planning to do a once a month exclusive video segment that I'm going to call Road Trip with Roy. And this is where I'm going to visit and explore sites in the Carolinas and even into Virginia, Tennessee, and possibly even Georgia sometimes. These are going to be interesting, informative, and scenic, like nature places, historic places, beaches, restaurants, whatever. And, it's going to be like I'm taking with you, taking you with me on these trips, virtually, of course. But as a member, you're going to be able to watch these exclusive videos anytime you want, with anyone you want. So you can watch them with your significant other. You can watch them with your grandkids, with your kids, whoever. and you can do it all in the comfort of your home. So I know there are a lot of people who are like, homebound. They can't, they may have issues where they're not as mobile as they once were, and they would like to see things like that. So that's where the idea came from. And again, once we hit 1,000 subscribers here on this channel, that membership is going to launch, and it will be available to anybody who would like to join. Again, it's totally, if you want to join. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm not going to hound you or harp on anybody for anything. So I just wanted to make that known and give you that reminder. All right. So now that we've said all that, on to the show, as they say. All right. Quick question. Have you ever caught your own reflection in the mirror and thought, gee, I feel all right, but why do I look like I'm aging so fast? I do that all the time. I do. Not all the time, but a lot of time. Anyways, wrinkles, fine lines, sagging skin, we all deal with them. But what if I told you there are simple things that you can do right at home to slow down that visible aging naturally and safely? Okay? You may even have some of these remedies sitting in your kitchen or in your bathroom right as we speak. Now, in part 1 of this series, we talked about what's going on inside the body, how things like chronic stress, inflammation, and even the shortening of our telomeres. Remember the telomeres? Those are the little, we compared those to the plastic tips on your shoelaces that keep them from unraveling. Those are the little tips on your chromosomes that keep the cells from, when the cells are splitting up, those get smaller and smaller. Remember? We talked about that last week. Anyways, they get shorter over time, and that helps speed up aging, but we're going to kind of try to deal with that as well. We also covered mitochondrial dysfunction. We talked about toxin exposure. We talked about poor sleep. We talked about social isolation, and how all of that takes a toll on ourselves, on aging. But today, this episode is all about solutions. So we're going to shift gears, and we're going to talk about natural remedies, daily habits, and lifestyle tips that can help your skin look and feel younger without injections or without any fancy spa treatments required. So you're saving money right there. All right. So before we jump into remedies, let's talk about why wrinkles show up in the first place. First, there's what we call intrinsic aging, and this is the stuff that happens naturally as we get older. Remember, I showed you my jowls last time, and I'm sure I can't see, but I'm sure I have crow's feet or whatever they call those wrinkles around your eyes and the forehead and all that, But anyways, moving right along. Those are things that happen naturally as we get older, and around your 40s, your 50s, your body starts slowing down its production of collagen and elastin, and those are the two primary components, proteins that keep your skin firm and elastic. And when those start to break down, the skin begins to sag and wrinkle. So apparently mine's breaking down because I'm starting to sag and everything all over the place. But there's hope. Anyways, there's intrinsic aging too. And those are the things that's the damage that's caused by outside factors. Like many of those things are preventable. And what I'm talking about here is like sun exposure, smoking, dehydration, poor diet, and even chronic stress. All of those things can accelerate the aging process and make those wrinkles appear earlier, or they can even deepen faster. Now get this, even how we sleep, believe it or not, that plays a role too. If you sleep on your side or your stomach for years and years, the pressure and friction can lead to sleep lines that eventually stick around, and they just don't go away. You may not know this, but there are actually two types of wrinkles. Okay? Now, the first type is called dynamic wrinkles, and these are the little lines that come from repetitive facial movements. Things like smiling. See, when I smile, I think my jowls go away, and frowning. I must frown a lot. And squinting, which is what gives me those. But anyways, over time, those motions do leave a mark, especially as the skin loses its elasticity. And the second type is called static wrinkles, and these show up even when your face is totally relaxed. Static wrinkles are caused by long-term damage, things like collagen loss, UV rays, or smoking. Once they're there, they don't disappear just because you stop, making expressions. And, if I started smiling more, I guess, or whatever, I'd still probably have the jowls or whatever. So both types matter, and fortunately, the remedies we're going to talk about next can help with both of these. So let's talk about some natural skin-loving remedies you can even try right at home, again, most of which are probably already in your kitchen or bathroom. So here are the first 5. Aloe vera. Now, aloe vera is full of vitamins, antioxidants, and hydration. It helps soothe the skin, and it reduces the appearance of fine lines. An easy way to use it. Now, I have an aloe vera plant here. It's actually going crazy. I guess I have a green thumb when it comes to that. But it's right over there, and I can see it from where I'm sitting. But the thing's, it's kind of like an octopus right now. It's got all these arms that are going every which way, and they're all long and stuff. Anyhow, just all you really need to do is cut a fresh leaf and apply the gel directly to your face. Now, I'm sure as you were growing up when you were little and you burned yourself or got a sunburn or something, your mom might have even used some on your skin, wherever your injury was, and it's soothing and all that, but it also works, wonders on getting rid of these little lines. All you got to do, like I said, is you got to cut a leaf and apply the gel directly to your face. If you leave it on for, 15, 20 minutes, and then rinse, it's gentle and it's safe for daily use. Okay? The second thing on the list here is coconut oil. Now, if your skin feels dry and dull, coconut oil might be your new best friend. It's very rich in vitamin E and fatty acids that moisturize and repair the skin's barrier. Just a thin layer at night can soften wrinkles and boost your skin's natural glow. A banana mask. Now, this one you may not be into or whatever, but if you mashed up a ripe banana, really good, and then applied it like a face mask, they are packed with vitamins A, B, and E, and the natural oils in them help rejuvenate and hydrate your skin. It is a gentle, inexpensive remedy, and it really does work. In fact, I just tried it last night, and I guess, obviously it hasn't worked yet, but I'll keep you posted on that. But it's not that bad, and I had a bunch of ripe bananas, so I figured I would try it. But supposedly it's very good, and it works. So like I said, I'll keep you posted, or anybody wants to know, I'll probably forget. So you can ask me in a couple weeks in an email or something. All right, the next one is honey. Yes, honey is sticky. We all know that, but it's worth it. Honey is a humectant. That means it draws moisture into the skin and it helps retain it. It also boosts collagen production, and it can help improve your skin texture over time. For the best results, you can use raw honey. That works much faster, much better. Okay? Here's another one that you may or may not be into, but egg whites. Egg whites tighten up your skin temporarily. So this is not a long-term fix, but it's something temporary. If let's say you're going out to some sort of function or whatever, and you want to look your best, you can, and it'll last probably a day or so, half a day, whatever. But what you do is you get the egg white, you whip it up, kind of mix it up real good, and then you apply a thin layer to clean skin on your face, around your eyes, around your mouth, whatever. and you let it dry on your skin completely. Then once it's fully dry, you rinse it off. And like I said, it's great before a special occasion when you want your skin to look smoother. It does work. That I've tried, and it does work. I've done it around my eyes. Like I have these bags under my eyes. Well, again, we're not going to talk about me. I have all kinds of issues. But anyways, all right. So let's keep going. Here's 5 more powerful natural ingredients that I came up with as in my research. The first one is rosehip oil. Now, this oil is rich in vitamin A, which is a natural form of retinol, and essential fatty acids. It supports skin renewal and it reduces the look of fine lines. To use it, you just massage a few drops onto clean skin at night, around, especially around your eyes and your mouth, to get rid of those wrinkles. Okay, the next one is a yogurt mask. Now, the lactic acid in yogurt gently exfoliates dead skin cells and it brightens your complexion. So to use this, you would mix plain yogurt with a little bit of honey or turmeric for extra benefit. Apply it as a mask and rinse it off after about 15, maybe 20 minutes. Here's another one that I've used. Green tea bags. Okay. Green tea is full of antioxidants. Now, after you brew the tea, cool the bags and place them over your eyes to reduce the puffiness and the fine lines. And with green tea, you get a bonus. You can also drink the tea after, while you're, or after you're done with your eyes there, your eye treatment. Green tea has a lot of good properties in it too, which helps fight aging from the inside out. So it's actually got a double benefit there. Another one is cucumber slices. Now, this one may seem like a spa cliche, but they actually do work, which is why most spas use them. Cucumbers hydrate, they soothe inflammation, and they also reduce under eye wrinkles. For the best effect, you can chill the slices and you get some cooling there, especially if it's summertime and it's roasting hot outside or whatever. It's a nice thing. Again, this is why most spas use those. Okay, and last on this list is papaya and honey mask. Now, papaya contains natural. I didn't put the honey on the slide itself, but papaya contains natural enzymes that brighten the skin and it helps reduce age spots. If you combine it with honey, it helps to boost moisture while you exfoliate. If you try using it once a week for smoother, more radiant skin, and after a couple of weeks you'll notice it's working. So that's going to be it for the remedies. I just gave you 10 remedies you can try at home. And let's be honest, you can use all the masks and oils in the world, but if your daily habits are working against your skin, you're not going to get very far at all. So here are a few simple lifestyle changes that will make a real difference over time. Again, primarily stay hydrated. I think water is a phenomenal thing that God has provided for all of us. It does millions of things. You clean, you wash, you drink. It keeps you alive. You can go without food. What is it? 3 or 4 or 5 days without food, but you can only go 2 or 3 days without water before you're going to die. So water is like a miracle thing. Excuse me. That we have available to us, and it definitely works wonders on your body, and the more the merrier. It keeps your skin plump and elastic. The recommendation is to try to drink at least 6 to 8 glasses a day. Now, I am guilty of not drinking 6 to 8 glasses a day. I'm lucky if I drink 3 cups, and I'm talking about those red Solo cups. I use one of those. And I'm sure you know what those red Solo cups are. When you were younger in college, whatever, the beer parties, they all use those one of those cups. Anyways, I do maybe 3 of those tops in a day. And I've never been a water person, and I'm trying to get more into it. But it's, the old habits, I guess, are hard to break. But yeah, I am trying. But again, the recommendation is 6 to 8 glasses a day. And you should include things like herbal teas, green smoothies, or fruit infused water if you wanted to mix it up. The next thing is eat more antioxidants. Berries, leafy greens, nuts, and healthy fats like avocado or olive oil. All of these things fight the oxidative stress that causes aging. So whenever you're planning out your meal, think color on your plate. And that's something I never used to do, but that I've gotten pretty good at. I've got berries now, and I'm eating more, salmon and things like that with omega 3s and fatty, healthy fats in it. Spinach, walnuts, all that kind of thing. So anyways, that I'm doing good with, better than I am with the water. And then exfoliate naturally. You don't need harsh scrubs. You don't have to spend all your money at the pharmacy buying all those things. You can try a little honey mixed with sugar or oatmeal. Believe it or not, that makes a gentle exfoliator to remove dead skin, and it reveals the glow underneath. Another thing that I should start doing, which I don't, I told you, I think in the last episode, that I use, or I've been wearing long sleeve shirts because where I am, it's very sunny most of the time. And the skin on my arms from being in the car and stuff is like leather. So I've started wearing these long sleeve UV shirts, beach shirts, whatever they call them. But, you should use sunscreen daily. And yes, you should do that even in the winter, and even if you're staying mostly indoors. UV damage is one of the top causes of premature aging. So you can use a basic SPF 30, because an SPF 30 goes a long way. You'd be surprised, and it works. All right, now let's get into specifically about how to keep your face from aging too quickly, especially around the eyes, the mouth, and the forehead. We just mentioned it. Eat omega 3s, foods like salmon, flax seeds, walnuts. Those all help your skin stay supple and hydrated from the inside out. Your facial expressions or exercises. Try some light toning exercises for your cheeks, your jawline, and your neck can strengthen muscles and improve definition. Use natural oils. Jojoba oil and argan oil are both great for mature skin. They're packed with nutrients and they help lock in moisture. Argan oil and jojoba oil can both be found in places like Walmart, Amazon, and most vitamin or health food stores should carry them as well. I haven't checked that, but I would imagine they do. But again, when I did look for these things, I found them in Walmart. I found them on Amazon. So it's not like it's impossible to get this stuff if you don't have it. Okay, another biggie is to cut out the sugar and processed food. Sugar triggers inflammation and it damages collagen. So try swapping sweets for fresh fruit or dark chocolate every now and then. Even a little bit's going to help you. Here's one that I was kind of surprised at. Sleep on silk. Ooh la la. It reminds me of like some highfalutin, I don't know, like old movie that I saw where they were sleeping on silk sheets and silk pillowcases. Anyways, enough of that. Silk pillowcases reduce friction and it helps prevent those sleep lines from becoming permanent wrinkles. Who would have thought? Now, these are not huge changes, but they're all powerful when you do them consistently. Okay, so let's wrap it up with some smart wrinkle prevention tips that are especially helpful once you hit your 40s, your 50s, and beyond that. First, try and follow a consistent skincare routine. I gave you a number of things in this episode, and pick a couple of them and go with it, and try to be consistent with it. And you'll see a big difference in a couple weeks. You will. You don't need a cabinet full of fancy products. Just stick to the basics. Cleanse gently, moisturize daily, and consider adding a natural anti-aging serum like vitamin C or rosehip oil. Both of those work great. When you go outside, wear sunglasses. They're not just for style. Sunglasses protect the delicate skin around your eyes from sun damage, and they help prevent squinting. Which is one of the main causes of crow's feet. Here's another one. Quit smoking. If you're smoking, stop. And I know that's easier said than done, but I mean, if you're worried about how you look, how your skin is and everything, you got to figure what's more important, smoking or how how do I look to others? How does my skin look? And again, I know that is easier said than done, especially somebody who's smoked a long time and is definitely addicted. Smoking seriously reduces collagen production, and it does speed up aging. And by the way, that includes secondhand smoke as well. And that's not to mention the damage it's doing to your lungs and your esophagus and all that other stuff. So if you are smoking, please try and stop. All right, another big one, stress. You got to try to manage stress. Chronic stress releases cortisol, which breaks down collagen. And again, the collagen is one of those important things for your skin, and it causes inflammation too. So when you're getting stressed out, take a walk, say a prayer, breathe deeply, read something comforting, a Bible or a devotional or whatever you find comforting. Do that. Do whatever helps you reconnect with peace. Okay, so speaking of stress, that leads me to think of just the opposite, peace and tranquility. And for me, peace and tranquility come with a closer connection to the Lord above, and it does. That's me. And hopefully that's a lot of you as well. Those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that I like to leave you with a little encouragement from the Holy Scriptures every week. And this week, with that said, I'd like to leave you with something from Psalm 103, verse 5. And let me just grab my Bible here, even though I put it on the screen so you can follow along. I'm going to read it from my Bible, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory, too. Pardon me. That verse that's on your screen is kind of, I don't know, to me it needs a backstory, but basically it's David, and he is praising God in this chapter. And if you start with he's talking about all the good things that God does for us. And in I'm going to start with the verse 2, okay? And I'm going to go to verse 5. So this way it gives you a little bit of a background story or background on this one verse. And it starts out in verse 3. And again, if you'd like to read along in your Bible, I more than welcome it. I read out of the King James Version, but whatever version you have is more than welcome here. And again, feel free to read along with me or just note the chapter and verse and read it on your own time. All right. Now, starting with verse 3, it says, "Who forgiveth all thine iniquities? Who healeth all thy diseases? Who redeemeth thy life from destruction? Who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercy? Who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles?" Okay, that's, kind of to me, it's a beautiful thing. Because when we fill our lives with the good things physically and emotionally and spiritually, God can renew us from the inside out. And sometimes that renewal shows up in the smile lines on our faces. Those are signs that we've lived, that we've loved, and that we've overcome. Okay? So, final thoughts. Let me just leave you with a challenge here. Pick 2 or 3 of the natural remedies or habits that we talked about in this episode and give them a try. Start simple. Be kind to yourself. Aging is a privilege, but looking and feeling your best along the way, that's part of the blessing. Okay? Okay, so that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. If this episode helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help with the algorithm, and more people who might be helped by this information will be able to channel or to find this channel much easier. And just a quick reminder or a recap, if you will. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be launching the members only website and newsletter. And remember, this membership's going to include 2 exclusive natural remedy videos every month, 1 uplifting newsletter about holistic healing, and chock full of natural remedies and natural recipes to help with inflammation and all kinds of other ailments. There are going to also be recipes from other diets like the Walls Protocol diet, the ketogenic diet, the Mediterranean diet, etc., etc., etc. Okay? All right. So, if you have a prayer request or you need help finding natural remedies that work for you, drop a comment below, or you can email me at lifeafter55channel at gmail.com. That's lifeafter55channel at gmail.com. I do read all the comments and the emails, and your prayer requests are kept strictly confidential. I'd love to hear from you, so don't be bashful. And also, I am going to ask any of you that are, that maybe haven't mentioned a prayer request or anything, but I have a prayer request for each of you. There are a lot of people in your own neighborhood. I've run into a few. I know a few around me that are hurtful, and you'd never know it. They work, they drive, they're in every aspect they're normal. But a lot of these people don't have any money. They're just barely making it, and it's like a choice between food and gas for their car and things like that. So there are quite a few people that are in your own neighborhoods, your own communities, that need prayer. And I'm just going to ask anybody who is praying for people and your family or whoever to include people in your own community that might be suffering or hurting and don't know where to turn. I would ask that each of you would pray for them as well, just as a common courtesy. All right, and before we go, here's a sneak peek at next week's episode. It is going to be called How Hormones Affect Aging and What You Can Do. If you are dealing with things like belly fat, which again I am, and low energy, thinning hair, which again guilty, or mood swings, your hormones might be out of whack. And if that's the case, that can speed up aging more than you think. So it's kind of going to be like a natural segue into from what we just did into, we're still a little bit of aging, but more of other things too as far as hormones go. So we're going to break all that down next week in plain English, and we're going to talk about simple, natural ways to help bring your hormones back into harmony so you'd be able to feel better, you can age slower, and you can get back to living life on your terms. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss that episode. All right, so as they say once again in show business, that's a wrap for this episode. Again, I am Roy, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and watching. And for those of you who have subscribed, I thank you. And those who will subscribe, I thank you in advance. I really, really do appreciate every one of you being here at Life After 55. And again, this is the channel that wants to help you live healthier, happier, and much, much longer. So, Lord willing, I will see you again here about the same time next week. Okay? Bye-bye.